Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Wevo Championship for race 3 out of 9 from Fuji. And as we get ready to take a look at the current standings, Ray joins us on commentary. I hope you're well, Ray.
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Good.
I hope you're alright yourself.
I'm not too bad, although I'm a little bit tied up at the moment, as is Demon R with SRI, SGP in 3rd place, Nelly in 4th. And let's not forget, folks, that this will set the grid. Steve F1 5th, Jason 6th, Twilight 7th, Hay 8th, Rich and Gary tied 9th, Jimmy in 11th, Artpal 12th, Critical 13th, and Bob in 14th. Unfortunately, Bob, Artpal, Jimmy, unable to race tonight. Gary was here, but unfortunately there was an update on his car and he couldn't get it done in time, so he wasn't able to join us. So would you like to take us through the actual grid we're going to have tonight, Ray?
Yeah, in first place we're going to have Demon R, since he won the race first, even though Demon R and SRI tied in points, SRI second. And third, SGP. We're down to Nelly in 4th, and then 5th's going to be Steve F1. Quite an unusual place for him to be. He's usually further up the field. 6th, Jason. He done quite a few pit stops last time round.
He did,
And 7th, Twilight. And then we've got the Dark A on 8th. 9th, we've got the Jamaican Rich. And then 10th, we've got the Pint to Make the Boys Wink, Critical.
How many times did you have to look at the numbers on the grid?
Every single one.
4 lights, 5 lights, and away go! Oh, Nelly's had a bad start there, a bit slow away. SGP's had a good start. Steve F1 making a position straight away on Nelly. And it's a very, very wet circuit here, and that's why it's called the Wevo Championship. It's SRI trying to go around the outside, SGP on the inside, 3 wide into 1, and we've got Critical out wide. Steve, oh, someone else was wide there, Ray.
Rich Blues out wide there.
Ah, that it was. Okay, Demon R holds on to the lead then, just about, ahead of SRI, SGP in 3rd place. So he's going wide though, very easily done. Home, he's actually up into 3rd place now.
Jesus, what's happened there?
Oh, Twilight, it's got a bit wide, it's very easy to do that. Now, as everyone may notice, the circuit is absolutely soaking wet. There is no drier bit at the moment, it's all just drenched. And unfortunately, we aren't going to have, I don't know what that was meant to be, we aren't going to have access to the weather radar today, as SGP kind of put Hay under a bit of pressure. Now in these conditions, Ray, are we going to be seeing drivers staying on the racing line, going off the racing line, staying on the track, going off the track?
We'll see them going, at this particular time, we'll see them going off the track, we'll see them trying to stay off the racing line as much as possible, but some corners it's not going to be possible, so... And... SGP
and Steve F1 just did Hay around the outside. Hay up the inside, maybe got on that racing line a little bit, got a little bit slippery. Oh, he's still there though, with Jason right behind him. As on the pack cam we can see, like the previous.
Jason round in the background.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, just coming out the last corner. Must have put too much power down it, and it was sent him round.
Okay, Steve F1 closing in on the back of SGP, SRI and Demon R breaking away a little bit up at the front. But yeah, so absolutely battering it down, as you'll be able to tell from the pack cam. And the fact that we can only just about see the cars. Oh, Rich Blues and Hay wide. Again, turn 1 for Rich Blues. So easily done though, Ray, when you were approaching that corner for the first time at full speed in these conditions.
Yeah, it's you've got to find out where the limit is, because we don't know what the weather is doing and how wet the track is. It's going to catch some of us out.
Absolutely. Okay, Nelly having a little look up the inside of Twilight. That inside line gets a little bit slippery. As Rich has just shown there. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, the indicator next to the tyres in the bottom left corner is the moisture level of where the car is currently at on the track. So we're on board with Nelly. So yeah, it's very, very, very wet. Ridge Blue's a little bit of a nudge from Nelly. And I am hearing in my ears sounds.
You're hearing sounds?
Well, that's what ears are for, isn't it? Nelly has he's had a bit of an off. He's dropped back to 10th. Jason with a little bit of lag there going on. Hopefully it won't get any worse. We've seen him have bad lag. He had bad lag actually in Spa on one occasion, didn't he?
At the end, I think, close to the end,
yeah,
wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Okay, Jason's trying to do a switch back on Twilight, and he's made it work on the exit. Twilight will now have the slipstream though, and the circuit's still not showing any kind of driving. But yeah, what I am hearing is Twilight is making the move here. Is that we, on the road weather radar last week, we showed a little graph, didn't we, or key colours. We're 3 wide, right?
Oh, 3, are we going 4?
Web 3
Yeah,
speed,
we're
come
4.
on.
We're on 4, Kay was there as well.
Oh, wow, hey, had a massive tank slapper there. Yeah, so on the weather radar last week, we had the colour guide, and purple is the heaviest rain you can get on the radar, and I am hearing that the circuit at the moment is experiencing a few spots of purple rain, and not from Prince.
Oh, yeah.
Purple rain. As long as we don't get yellow rain, the drivers should be okay. Rich getting a little bit twitchy on that corner again. I think Rich is trying to stay off the racing line on that corner, but because it's on a tighter line and you do cross the racing line, it's getting a bit wobbly on him. I have been told that like taking a wider line is a little bit grippier. It's Jason side by side with Critical through the little chicane. And through here, Ray, how do you navigate this? Because there's not a lot of space and you cross the racing line 3 times.
Just hope for the best.
That's one way of doing it, isn't it? Okay, on the pack cam, we've got Dimidar leading with SRI still close behind him. We see a couple of sort of tyre track marks starting to build there, but not really seeing it on the main screen here. So I think, yeah, it's still just raining a little bit too hard, as Rich Blues may have a bit of a run on Critical's Hayes wobbling in the back.
Just getting on that curb he was, and it's just loosened up his rear left there a wee bit.
Hayes pulling out from the slipstream, going for the move. Actually making the move up. Rich pulls. Okay, go 4 wide again.
Let's see how they get on in here.
Can they get it slowed down? It looks like they've all got it slowed down quite nicely there.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, Nelly! Oh, he's had a tank slapper and off he goes.
There's always one, isn't there?
There is, yeah, yeah. I don't think anyone hit him. Oh, hey, Critical got a little bumpy there, but it's so easily done in that left-hander. Rich Blues having a look up the inside.
Oh, it's going to switch right in. He's got to hold
Oh.
it tight. It's going to slide wide. Oh, I think should be waiting for hay there.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, he looked like he just slid a little bit wide and nudged the car that was next to him into, I think it was Twilight, into hay. Okay, that's alright. It's closed in on the back of Demon Arm as SUPs have dropped back a little bit. So chicane, they go on the pack cam. We've got that battle between Rich Blues now and Critical. So Rich hasn't waited for it, but may not realise that he has put hay off the track there. You see very different lines being used by the front 3 drivers here.
Yeah, Demon Arm's a little bit holding tighter into the chicane. Oh, SRI's having a wee slide there. Oh, where's Demon Arm? Are you on the curve?
Yeah, he's right. I think you might be seeing the footage a fraction later than me,
Yeah.
so I'll try and not spoil it for you. Okay, SRI could have a run here on Demon R down the main straight. I'm just wondering, Ray, if you can hear if the rain sounds like it's easing off at all.
I'll just check for it.
Jason's heading to pits. Oh, else's as well. Okay.
It's just get a bit heavier into turn 1.
Interesting. Okay, so Jason and Hay have pitted. I'm guessing they're gambling on an intermediate set of tyres, so perhaps on the weather radar that the drivers can see, maybe they can see a little bit of clearer weather coming in the near future. Okay, what we got then? Rich Blues here, ahead of Critical now.
Yeah, up into fifth. Steve F1 still behind SGP. Maybe just keeping an eye on how the gap is to the leaders. Oh no, he's going for it. He's going to try to go round the outside. SGP having a wee slide there.
On the pack down, Critical having a bit of going a little bit deep as well. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting with the two Steves there going side by side through that corner. SGP, that little wobble was just from like touching the racing line a little bit. Got still busy. Nelly, Critical, goes defensive, calls him off. Rich going to try and go around the outside. That might not work here. I'm wondering if any of the front 5, 6, 7, 8 or yeah 6, 7, 8 are going.
Demon slid a wee bit. SRI's on the back of him in the back camp, but then Demon get the better exit.
Well,
even though he's slid wide a bit, he was just off the racing line when SRI was trying to put the power down.
I heard he bleaches his exit.
He what? Bleaches his exit.
Okay, Demon R, it looks like he's going to the pits, so he's going to cover. No, he's not. He dug it, the pits. So interesting. Is anybody else going to dive into the pits? Because if the weather is going to dry up at the pack camp, getting busy.
It looks a bit blue skies down into turn 1.
Cool. I wonder if anyone else is going to come in. I mean, because if Jason and Hay are able to survive these conditions on the inters, it might benefit them greatly as Nelly has to avoid the back of Rich there. But I'm still not seeing the moisture level dropping on the gauge. Well, maybe a little bit on the gauge, but on the pack cam, we're not seeing that sort of drier bit of crack that you want to see when you put the intermediate tyres on.
Yeah, I've not really seen it. And here at Fuji, it's sometimes difficult to see. You don't really see it until it is quite dry, because the circuit looks greasy to begin with.
Absolutely. Nelly going to try going around the outside of Critical. Critical may get a bit understeer and then watch for the oversteer. Nelly's gone deep though. There's Rich Blues with that little bit of understeer, trying that inside line. SRI very close to the back of Demon. 3 wide through the kink on the main screen though. Nelly's got the inside line. He should have the most stable position for braking. Has he managed to stay ahead? Yes, he has. Makes the move on Rich Blues, or does he? Yes, just a boot.
Yeah, Rich Blues try to fight as much as they could. Oh, you know, hit his tank slapper in the twilight there.
Absolutely. Okay, so I wonder if Demon R or SRI or even the Steves are going to head towards the pits on this occasion. And Nelly getting all so close to the back of Critical, and Rich Blues having another little wiggle, shaking his ass. Okay, on the pack cam we can see SRI and Demon R, and Demon R is going for the pits this time. SRI carries on.
There's Demon R's going to go. Is it going to go another set of wets, or Jenk is going to put inters on?
Well, I can't imagine he's going to go for another set of wet tyres, because they won't have worn, as we can see for these guys here. As Nelly comes under a bit of pressure from Rich Blue. So I'm going to guess it's inters, because you'd be a madman to try the slicks in these conditions. Can Critical get it slowed down? Yes, he can. Nelly just a little bit of understeer as he gets to the apex, and so easily done as Demon R is out the pits on the intermediate tyres, and I think Twilight is pitted as well on the inters.
We'll see what these can do in the upcoming laps while the other leaders are staying out.
On the timing tower, look at the names. Who's behind Rich Blues?
Who's behind Rich Blues? Jason and Demon R. Right.
You'll get there in a minute. He's just got to work out what I'm referencing.
Yeah.
Jason pitted a couple of laps ago for a set of intermediate tyres. Demon R from the lead of the race has just pitted for intermediate tyres. Oh, Nelly trying to make a move on Rich. Oh, a little bumpy over the slippery racing line. What I'm referencing is that Jason is now potentially net leader going to the inters early. He's managed to jump all of the front four. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on their inters compared to Nelly, Rich and Critical on the wet tyres as SRI. I don't think he's heading to the pit lane. Rich Blues running in 5th place. There comes Stephen R with Jason. So side by side they go. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on here. As Nelly is making a move. He's trying to.
Yeah, I think Critical's went in the pits. Yeah.
Yes, he has. Okay, so Demon R ended off Nelly on that occasion. Rich Blues. Can he hold on? Is he going to go deep? Oh, Nelly gives Demon R a little bit of a nudge.
Rich has went wide. Rich wide.
He managed to hold on though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Now for the front three at the moment, this is good news for them because Rich Blues is kind of holding up Jason and Demon R at the moment, who are on those intermediate tyres.
That would be the dry line forming, so the front three think let's wait and see what the weather plays. Burn up these wets, and if we have to go to inters, we go to inters. If not, we jump it.
Yeah. But now SGP on the back cam was sticking to the damper part of the circuit as Rich Blues is trying to there. So Demon R's managed to get ahead. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely say this is sort of intermediate tyre condition now, but you can still run the wets. It'll be interesting to see how much, as we said, they burn up SGP again on the pack cam, trying to stay on the damper part of the circuit, make these wet tyres last a little bit longer. Oh, as Nelly gives Rich Blues another little tap on the bum.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting between the front three and Demon R. I think SGP might be catching SRI. They look to be a bit closer to SGP. SGP's going in the pits.
Yeah, SGP into the pit. Now, interestingly though, right, with the moisture gauge, obviously we can see here with Rich Blues, it's very, very wet, but that's on the very, very wet bit of the circuit. When he moves over to the drier part of the track, you'll see that that gauge comes down a lot. And in previous races, we have actually seen people go for the slick tyre on the level of moisture that we'll see. Meow! Not there!
It's raining. It's raining at turn one.
Oh! Interesting. Okay, so yeah, Jason on the inters went deep. I generally expect, so this level of moisture, not that level of moisture, there's fragments of, like, the track's a bit drier. We've seen on other circuits drivers go for the slick tyres. I don't think it's dry enough to go for a slick tyre at the moment. I think inters or wets is the right choice, especially if we're getting sprinkles of rain.
Yeah, because when the sprinkles come down, you're going to have no traction on or stopping power on the slicks.
Absolutely. Now, interestingly, SGP on the pack cam still looking for the damper part of the track, but that sprinkle will help those that are on the wet tyres. Jason's got a little bit curb there, I think. So SRI still leading this race. But yeah, I think for the front three, that little downpour probably will help them to decide to perhaps stay out, because these wets aren't burning up on Nelly at the moment.
Let's see how he gets on through here. He's got Jason on the intermediates, and he's keeping with Jason. Yes, you can argue there's boost helping him, but he won't be getting boost that close to Jason.
SRI is heading to the pit, so maybe he's thinking it's time for a set of intermediate tyres. Yeah, Jason's struggling a bit on the inters here, isn't he?
Yeah. It looks like he's now got hay on the back of him.
Okay, Steve F1 in the pits as well. Oh, okay, there's SGP. So he pitted a lap or so ago. I'm interested to see which tyres SRI and Steve F1 do go for. As Rich Blue's up the inside. We haven't seen, so at the moment, no, SGP is on the inters. Oh, hey, where did he come from?
Out over there.
Over there, and over there. So SGP on his inters, you know what, I think he's dried up a little bit more again. So the inters are sort of coming back in comparison to the wets. Yeah, Jason breaking away a little bit from Rich Blues. Twilight on the inters, so maybe he can make some moves now. Rich Blues got a little bit wide.
SRI's just catching the back of this pack, so is he on inters?
Well, I mean, I'd be surprised if he's on anything else. Okay, so Twilight then, can he break away? Rich Blues hunting for the damp patches. That's exactly what you need to do when you're on the wet tyre. The inters the inters working okay at the moment for Twilight. They're not overheating. Oh, it's busy on the pack cam, but now on the main screen. Rich, Critical, and Hey. I think Critical's picked Rich's tyres a lot. The wets have burnt up.
Yeah, you'll be wanting to get into the pits at the end of this lap. Get either set inters or I don't know, is it dry weather yet?
Well, interesting with the moisture gauge. I think if I was driving, I'd be tempted to try a dry tyre. But it's just, as SGP is going to show here, you go slightly off. That's extremely damp. Okay, Demon R's heading into the pits. Okay, so maybe he's going for the slick tyre. Jason and SGP carry on. We've got a couple more on the pack cam heading to the pits, Raymond.
Yeah, Jason lagging back a wee bit. He did have a wee bit of lag last race and the race before, but he's trying in his best to reduce it as much as possible. We don't know what it is causing it. I think SRI went deep into the pack camera.
Yeah, he went a little bit wide.
He's got Steve F1.
Oh, Jason! Jason's got way wide at the long right-hander. And once you start going wide there's nothing you can do to save it. You can't keep it on the road. Now, interestingly, Steve F1 and SRI. Oh, SRI's got a little bit. You know what? Steve F1, it didn't look like he had much traction out of that corner. I'm wondering if they are on. Okay, Critical on the inters. They are now starting to burn up a little bit. I think it might be okay for the dry tyre rate if you can keep it on that dry bit of the track.
Yeah, that's going to be a wee bit of a challenge in some of the corners, because I think in turn one there's just a little bit of puddle just at the apex.
Well, interesting. SGP is now leader of this race, but I think he's going to have to be pitting soon for a set of slick tyres. Jason's definitely trying to keep hold of the wet there. Oh, and a bit of contact between himself and Critical. Didn't see exactly what happened there. Are they going to be heading to the pits? No. SGP is.
It looks like Jason is. He's hanging to the right hand side of the track. No, he's not. He's just going straight.
Yeah, he's carrying on.
Now you see you off track. That's the white line.
Wow. Maybe. Okay. You know what? I would like to see what tyres SRI and Steve F1 are on, because I think if they were on the inters, I think they might have pitted. I mean, Jason, you can get another lap out of these by the looks of it, but I've got a feeling he's going to need to. Twilight's on the hard tyre. Okay, so I've just seen that. SGP pack cap. Now, interesting. Okay, so Steve F1 is being attacked by Jason. I think, Jason's gone a little bit wide. He's still using. Yeah, so I think SRI, Steve F1 and Demon R are on the slick tyres. And that's why they're trying to stay away from the wet bit.
Yeah, it could be the past couple of laps have not ventured out onto the wet stuff at all, so...
Steve F1 is on the racing hards.
Steve F1. Oh
Yep.
yeah, because it's shown them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So then there's no doubt that SRI's on the racing hearts as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you wouldn't be using the line they are if they were on the Inters, they'd be using the lines that Jason is. On the Pack Cap, getting very busy with Critical and Rich Blues. I think Critical has just pitted, I think for slicks, I could be wrong. So Steve F1 right up behind SRI, but now the drivers have got the difficulty of if they're going to try and overtake, they got to be so careful doing it, because if they go up the inside of someone, you've got to make sure you don't understeer. If you go up the outside of someone, the other person might understeer. So very difficult as Jason is now into the pits to get rid of those inters. And here we go, Steve.
He hasn't given up that dry line. He's trying to push Steve F1 towards the left.
And that's exactly what you'd expect a driver to do. But Steve F1 makes the move, gets that position held on. No, he doesn't. They're side by side still. And it's SRI holding his line there. Not letting Steve F1 get back over to the drier part of the circuit. On the Pack Cap, Rich Blues has just got a little bit wide. Okay, so we're just about halfway.
Making a move on Twilight as well at the same time. So Critical's on a push here, so where is he? 6th place, so he's done very well. His race isn't over yet.
That is true. Now, interestingly, we are just about halfway through this race, and I think SRI and Steve F1 pitted at the end of lap 9. I mean, if it stays dry and gets drier, I don't think their tyres can get to the end. Unfortunately, we can't see a weather radar, so we can't tell if there's going to be any further incoming moisture.
But would like the likes of Demon R's tyres get to the end? It's going to be a difficult one to judge, because we don't know the weather and how quickly the tyres are going to burn up at this track.
Absolutely. Okay, so Steve F1 a little bit further back on this occasion, but at Fuji you actually want to be that tiny little bit further back to try and get the benefit of the slipstream. So the Pack Cam is still busy behind SGP, and here now Steve F1 closing that gap. He'll be able to move to the inside. He'll be aware that SRI is not going to give him any extra space than is necessary, and if he could push him onto the wet bit, he would. Steve F1 a little late on the brakes, holding quite nice. SRI trying to switch back, nowhere to make the move, but that little battle allows Stephen R to close in a little bit.
Yeah, this is I think Demon R's just sitting back there waiting to see what happens.
Quite possibly. But also, Demon R pitted a couple of laps after these two, I believe, so yeah. Now, from what I heard in practice on a bone-dry track, I think it was, or a track that was dry but looked damp, but wasn't some cold track, the tyres lasted about 10 laps. So, yeah, in these conditions, would I expect them to last more than that? It all depends on, because you see, Steve F1 at the moment, where he's placing his car, although the track looks damp, it is bone dry, apart from that bit. Bone dry.
Yeah,
now,
just at the apex, it's a wee bit wet where the puddles are.
Yeah. So, yeah, the track may be cold, but it is dry. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Pack Cam very, very busy behind Critical. I think SGP may have broken away a little bit.
Somebody having a wee bump with Rich, I think it might have been here.
I tell you what, these three in the front are really closed in now as well. And this final corner is going to be treacherous right now, because if you dip a wheel slightly wide on that damp bit, you're just going to keep going wide. Okay, so Steve F wants to give SRI no dry road. Because you know he's going to return the favour. But again, SRI is so close that now he's
SRI's to the other side.
But yeah, because he was so close, he struggled a bit to get a good run down this straight. Let's see if they can get it slowed down into one. Switch back.
Side by side now, SRI's going to try and keep Steve F1 in the wet stuff.
Yeah.
But there's not much wet stuff there.
That is true.
Side by side.
Oh, big opinion! Oh no! Oh wow, that's a massive off for the both of them. And coming round the corners, critical sideways. That's one way of doing it. Well, keep the rear tyres warm, but Jason says you're going to go sideways, I'm going to go forwards. I don't know what accent that was, but there we go.
But Jason went deep. Twilight's went deep.
Oh, where's Jason gone?
He's went deep. He came round that corner. he kept going straight on forward.
Oh dear. Okay, so Deep are now leading, so that's worked out quite nicely for him. Steve F1 and SRI have managed to rejoin. Still is. Oh, the windscreen wipers are going. You know what that means?
Rain. Rain.
Ooh, Demon R with a big slide there through the penultimate corner. Oh, and it's hammering it down. Okay, and this is a critical junction in this race then. We can't see the radar, but if the radar shows enough, the drivers have got to make a decision now. Pit or don't pit.
Yeah, who's going to be reacting first? Or who reacts early?
Well, Demon R carried on.
Yeah, I think it looks like Steve F1's carried on.
Is SGP heading to the pits? Yes, he is. Critical and Hay carried on. Okay, now interestingly, Hay's wipers aren't going, so it's not raining down the main straight. I'm wondering, you know, whether there's a sort of localised bit of rain in that final sector. Okay, Twilight.
Oh, and it's on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, synchronised swimming. Oh, Hay's going to go off again. He's got to be careful because as he goes back on the road, that might want to try and spin him, especially on the damp bit. Okay, wipers not going. Okay, so we must be in a patchy bit of rain, and I'm guessing that's why the front few and everyone else on the slicks didn't pit. Because it's a difficult one, isn't it? If you can definitely see, okay, there's massive weather coming in, you wouldn't take the gamble of carrying on going. So to carry on going, I can only guess that it must be spotty.
Oh, Rick on the wet stuff. Can you get it slowed down? Yes, sir, in the back cam. Yes, he can. He's got Jason right behind him at the minute, pressuring him. So he's just.
Oh, David, bend it! Oh, he got
at the same corner.
Yeah, he
as
got
last time.
the sideways the last lap, and this lap a bit more than sideways. That'll help Steve F1 and SRI out, won't it?
Yep, they're there.
Yeah, that they are. It didn't. Okay, I don't think it's raining in that last. I think that's just an error from Demon R. Critical on the hard hill, so he gets sideways a few moments ago. He's got a bit deep. He's got a bit sideways here as well. Oh dear.
Demon R in the pits, but he couldn't make it in properly. He went round the
Bollard
cone, whatever you want to call it.
Oh dear. Okay, now interesting. So Steve F1 and SRI have continued on. Oh, Steve F1 just keeping it on the road. Here comes SRI, makes the move. Nicely done. Okay, Hay on the hard, he's in third again.
Yeah, he's having a good
No,
race.
he's not. Sorry, Hay. Ray said you was having a good race. Now, we mentioned, Nelly's gone a bit wide as well. We mentioned at Spa last week that some of the drivers will be finding barriers they'll never have seen before. I think it's the same here as well, you know. There could be such a long distance from the track to the barrier. Okay, we've got Rich Blues, Nelly here, and Jason right behind them. Rich Blues on the hard compound tyre, and not seeing any wipers going. So, yeah, I don't think we're getting that rain. Who was pitted? SGP pitted, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now, did he
I don't
go?
know what for.
It'd be nice if we could go and have a look and find out. Jason back at Nelly.
Yeah, Richard's doing a good job keeping Nelly and Jason behind him at the minute. As we see Demon R catching these. We can't see what tyres Demon R's on, unfortunately.
Okay, SRI's got a bit of a run here on Steve F1. I think Steve has SRI gone wide? No.
Yeah, he must have, because he was in front of Steve F1.
You're right. right, he was. So he's gone wide at previous corner. Demon R trying to make the move around the outside of Jason, but that's the corner he binned it a couple of laps ago. So being a bit more cautious there by the looks of it. I would say Demon R's on the slick tyre there. Jason's on the slicks, but he's got a bit wide, and SGP gets through again. Demon R's got a 3-second penalty, and he is on the hards.
I don't know how. 3-second penalty.
Okay, Rich.
Oh, Steve F1 wide again. He's off the track.
Oh,
Back
yes,
him.
he is. Yes, he is. Turn 1's gone deep. It's looking a bit misty down here. It's not raining though. Okay, so maybe just got a little bit on the damp bit or something. SGP is on the racing hard tyre. Okay, I'm guessing then that Demon R and SGP have pitted for the slicks again because they didn't think the tyres they were on would get to the end, and both of them pitted for slicks before SRI, and it's raining.
Raining again. How we get through here?
Oh, it's not raining. The wipers aren't going. But it
must be just a shower.
Yeah, it's another sprinkle. There's Twilight here sitting in third place now on a set of hard tyres, which they might make it to the end, you know. Okay. Oh no, the wipers are. Oh my god, the wipers are definitely going again. Holy cow, it's soaking wet here. Oh yeah, on the racing line. Oh my god, it's Twilight's off. That's at the little chicane. That's way deep at the little chicane. Can he keep going? Manages to rejoin safely. Oh, look at the pack cab. Look how wet it is for the leaders. Oh, SGP and Nelly, it's very slow there. This is crazy. They've got a pit for wet, surely.
Yeah, I don't know, are they? Let's see, we can't see. I watch a track map. Oh, Demon R pushed onto the whip, but I think Nelly had a wee bit oversteer. SRI's not gone.
No, SRI's not pitted. Steve F1's not pitted. Okay, this could be. Steve F1 went deep at this corner on the last lap, and I'm not seeing. Oh my goodness me! It's just absolutely bucketing it down. Oh wow! There's the barrier they've not seen for. Oh my goodness me! Good enough to the service road over there. Okay, can they recover before the pack gets to them, who also haven't pitted?
Let's see, if we get MDL's going straight on.
Nelly. I don't know if he's held it Rich Blues. He's going round the corner. He's okay. Nelly did get a bit wide. He's just ahead of Rich Blues. Now, interestingly, out of turn 1, we can't see it on the main screen, but on the pack app, we can see that sort of slightly drier line. But it's definitely treacherous at the moment. Oh dear. Okay. Demon R and Steve SGP side by side through the long right hander. Someone's gone round the outside of Twilight, is it? Yeah, that's Rich Blues on the pack cam. Going, oh, and he's up the arse of SGP now. SRI's gone deep in the chicane like Twilight did. Where's Steve F1? Has he got round the corner? Don't know.
We can't see yet. We don't know what's going to happen.
Rich Blues on the inters.
I think he has. Rich Blues going for a move for third place.
Wow. Okay. Rich Blues has made a beautiful couple of overtakes there and is pulling away from the drivers on the slicks. On the intermediate tyres with what, 6 laps to go? He's not that far from the leaders either.
And look at back cam on SRI, you can see he's kicking up water. So this could be a good call for Rich Blues.
Okay, it looks
SRI
like he's going for the pits, isn't he?
Looks like it.
That it does.
Can he get it slowed down in time and not do a Demon R?
He is going for the pits. Okay, Critical making moves. Done SGP. He's done Demon R as well. Yeah, so SGP headed into the pits. Okay, so I wonder if they're going for the intermediate tyre now.
Oh, look at blue skies at turn 1. I don't know what's happening.
No, to be honest, this is where we really need a weather radar, because Yeah. Because it's so difficult for us to see exactly what the weather condition is. But it would appear Steve F1 is still on the slick tyre. SGP is coming out of the pits on the inters. Rich Blues is on the inters and is currently in second place, catching up to Steve F1. Demon R's gone wide. You don't want to be out there on the slicks. Oh, that's painful. Oh dear.
Where's SRI? He's behind Demon R on the timing screen, so he's not caught up yet from his pit stop.
Well, if he's on the intermediate tyres, he'll be catching up rather rapidly. Critical is catching up to Rich Blues as well as Nelly. Have a look at the inside of Twilight. So I think we've got Twilight, Nelly, Demon R on the slick tyre. And it doesn't look like it's raining anymore. Nelly's still out trying to have a look at Twilight. Twilight says, not today.
Yeah. Demon R's having a look at Nelly now. He's going wide. Nelly's just kissing that wet line, so that won't be helping his tyres. And there's SRI catching the pack now.
Yep, Demon R trying to make a move on Nelly on the exit of the corner. Gets that move done. SGP looks like he's hunting for moisture on the pack cam. Rich Blues from his intermediate tyres is in the pits.
Is SGP on intermediates, do we not?
He is, yes.
He is. He's on the wet line, so taking it.
I'm wondering if Rich Blues started burning up his inters. I guess we'll see what tyres he comes back out on the track with, I hope. Okay, so Nelly, SRI bumping uglies down towards the left-hander. This is where SRI spun on the curb earlier, and again the curbs have become treacherous again now, haven't they? With that downpour, SRIs are going to try around the outside. It's risky, but he's done it. It was risky in case Nelly got a bit of understeer, and SRI is on the hard tyre, not the inters.
That's alright. He must have thought that his hard tyres wouldn't make it, the ones he had on.
Absolutely right. Someone behind Jason through the long right-hander just had a massive off. I'm not sure exactly who it was as Nelly goes a little bit deep at the chicane. Okay, now interestingly, Steve F1, I don't think Critical's catching Steve F. It'd be nice to see Critical's tyres, because then we'd be able to tell if the inters are burning up, because he's on the inters. Steve F1 has only done one pit stop in this race, and there, oh no, it's Demon R. There's Critical, but we're on Demon R. I thought Critical was on the hard front.
He's searching for that wet line.
He's going for the pits. Okay. So, that would suggest, yeah, in the pits, that would suggest the inters are burning up. Yeah, and he was on the inters. So SGP, I think, is going to have to pit again, isn't he? Demon R trying to make the move.
He's not going towards that wet line when he's trying to make the move.
Okay, he's going to try and go around the outside. Now we saw Steve F1 and SRI and their attempt. Oh, Twilight saying, yeah, you can have a wet bit. Oh, close your eyes.
Keeping them hot held over there.
Okay, D1. That got a little bit sketchy there with a bit of a wobble. Now, SGP didn't pit. He's still on the intermediate tyres. I'm guessing he's hoping that they'll last. But Steve F1 has opened the gap up at the front with Critical pitting. And here is SRI now on the back of Twilight. Now I'm wondering, Ray, whether...
We're going to have three laps to go. Next lap is, do you think his tyres are going to hold on, Steve F1? He doesn't have to push them, he's got nobody near him.
True, but also that little downpour a few laps ago as SGP is being attacked by Jake. Yeah, SGP's tyres are gone. Yeah, that little downpour will have helped Steve F1 keep those tyres cool. And yeah, look at SGP's tyres. I don't think they would do another lap, so unfortunately he's going to have to dive into the pits on this occasion.
Yeah, I think he just reacted too quickly to the weather.
Well, I think. Well, sorry, Twilight trying to give SRI the damp patch, and the SGP is heading towards the pits behind Nelly and Jason. Yeah, I think he may have been reacting to the way that Rich was able to catch, pass, and pull away on those inters, and SGP is into the pits. That'll be for a set of slick tyres. Now, you know what would be cruel now is if it rained again now.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
SRI and Twilight side by side through turn 1.
Yeah, Twilight manages to hold on to the position at the moment. And once again, we're into a situation where the racing line is now bone dry again. So for the slick tyres, it's working nicely. Oh, Jason got a little bit wide on the curb. Nelly may go a little bit wide here if he's not careful. Do not want to be going wide here. Hey, really does. It would explain why the inters were burning up then, like with the racing line being this dry. Yeah, the inters would only last, what, a lap and a half, 2 laps on a dry track.
Yeah, yeah, especially with it being this dry and there's not much wet weather. SRI track around the outside of Twilight there into the chicane, and he gets it done. As we see, quite a Jason caught up as well, so Twilight, he might hope, I don't know how his tyres are. He's just kept that on.
I think Twilight's tyres are okay. I think he's just ending up on some cold, damp bits at the moment, and it's compromising him a little bit. Perhaps not confident at how much he can push in these conditions. Anyway, yeah, so his tyres are fine for only having a couple of laps left to go. So Rich Blues has a nice little tank snapper.
Compared to like Jason's tyres, they've got a bit of wear.
True. That is definitely true. But obviously, how the driver's going to go through braking zones and things like that, it's going to differ. That's interesting. On the pack cam, that view with Steve F1 and Dean Nard now, it looks very wet. Well, misty.
I think there's more rain.
Maybe. Well, on the main screen at the moment, it's okay. It's not raining, but it's definitely misting up a bit. It's Critical having a look at the inside of Twilight. Twilight's having none of it. Here comes Nelly up the inside of Critical. Can't quite get done. We're riding on board with Steve F1, so if it does start raining, we'll be able to see it. We'll see the panic in his eyes. Yeah, but at the moment, he's doing all right. Got a bit of a lead, but we've got a right battle going on here. Twilight, Critical, Rich Blues trying to make a move on Nelly, and Hay in there as well.
Yeah, let's see, where's Harry? But he's there behind Nelly as he comes down into the chicane. Oh, a wee bit of bumpy to bump though. No, Critical loved Wet.
Oh yeah, he's a big fan. He's not so much a fan of Yorkshire tea, but Twilight is. I'm trying to think of a wet song now, and I really can't.
Good night, girl.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my chest. Okay, Critical making the move on Twilight.
Is he feeling the weather in his toes tonight?
Maybe. Okay, Hayes giving Nelly a little bit of a bump draft to try and get past Rich Blues, but Rich Blues has got the slipstream from Twilight. Yes, Twilight. Now they're 3 wide. This could get interesting. Oh, we're on the last lap of the race, right? Whoa, hey! I don't know if... Oh, and here comes SGP giving Rich Blues a little bit of a tap. He's like, that's for overtaking me earlier.
Yeah, and we've got SGP on there as well now.
Oh,
so
he just pumped in Twilight.
Oh, I don't know. Has it?
I think he might. I think he's backed off, and Rich Blues is now back ahead. Rich Blues is now wide. Be careful with that one. Okay.
SGP was sliding everywhere.
Okay, Steve F1 has only got the final sector now to do to try and get his first win in this championship. Critical. Well, he was running in second on the Inters a little while ago. He's now in fifth on the hards, some 4 wide behind, down towards the... Oh, no! Oh, dear. That, well...
I think he got a little help from his friend.
Well, if that's how a friend helps him, I would like to see what his enemies do to him. Okay, Steve F1, his tyres, they wouldn't have done many more laps as SGP on the pack cab to get him put under pressure from Critical. Steve F1 then is going to take the victory. So weaving to not get temperature, just to celebrate. Demon R had closed that gap up. Steve F1 takes the win. Demon R second place, SRI third. We've got Jason fourth, and then we've got a riot battle going on the pack cab. We'll get there in a moment, Ray. Yeah, there we go. What? Good luck. Talk us through that one.
We have Nelly crossing the line and don't know the rest.
Oh, Hayes in the pits. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, well, a very interesting race there. And I tell you what, right, when we did the first race of this championship and was like, oh, it'd be nice to have a weather radar, but didn't really think much of it. Having had a weather radar, I found this one very difficult to commentate on without the weather radar.
Yeah, because we were looking for we're trying to see if it was raining, we're looking for the windscreen wipers, I was trying to hear if it was raining, but sometimes it wasn't that hard of a downpour.
Yeah.
There's only a sprinkle.
Yeah, I mean, that's the, when we're able to see the weather radar, like, so when SGP pitted for the intermediate tyres, we hopefully would have been able to see on the screen what caused him to think, okay, yeah, I need the intermediate tyres. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, unfortunately, my live stream errored, I don't even know why, it's just not there on my YouTube channel. So I wasn't able to get the radar. I did have a look at trying to get it off Steve F1's, but he only has the weather radar on for a very short period of time. So it would have been very difficult to try and get that done, but also to get it done in time, because I only saw it at about 4 o'clock today.
Why don't you just go back to your PS5 and maybe take some screenshots?
You can't.
Oh, no, you can't. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
oh,
you can't.
okay.
Yeah, you can't go to the radar on the replay, unfortunately. Yeah.
I was thinking all race, but why didn't he just go to PS5? But I don't want to say. No, fucking my well. I just remembered why.
Yeah, because you can't. But yeah, so I mean, you know what's even more sort of frustrating about it is that when, because obviously we stayed like Demon R, Steve F1, SRI, Twilight, Nelly, quite a few of us stayed on the slick tyre, and when it was like the last sort of 5-6 laps of the race and I had a bit of a gap, I kept the weather radar on for a long time to really see what that weather would. I had a really good race of going, right, okay, we'll put the weather radar on all the way down the start finish straight almost every lap, and then yeah, I haven't got the footage. Jason. So yeah, we'll try and do better for next time. Okay.
Oh, or was it copyrighted or banned because of a joke?
Maybe. You know, I'm actually wondering if I didn't end it properly, and then when I just closed the game down, it just nulled the live stream. But I'm pretty certain. I mean, I know I started it. I think because I remember saying to Nelly, "If you've got a joke to tell it now before I start my live stream." And he was like, no, it's all right, I'll save it later.
Unless you went to start it and then forgot to start it.
Maybe, but I don't.
I'm never pressed it.
But anyway, so we haven't got it anyway. So, but what we'll say is though, Steve F1 navigated that one quite nicely. Only did the one pit stop, made the tyres last, and you know what? I think if there wasn't that little downpour, with about 7-8 laps to go, I don't think he'd have got to the end on those tyres. But then they burnt up a little bit too much. But yeah,
It just goes to show you how much a little bit of rain can help the racing hards last that little bit longer.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a very. I mean, we talked about it in the last couple of races. It's very difficult sometimes to know. So at Spa, we had Nelly, Twilight. I think there was somebody else that stayed on the slicks, and in the end, it kind of worked for them. But they had a lot of drama from when the rain came down. They stayed on the slicks, a lot of drama, but in the end, it was okay for them. Those that went to the intermediate tyres didn't have the drama, went back to the slicks. It worked for them as well. So they're kind of like, there wasn't really a wrong decision in that one. And I think today with this race, again, I don't think there was a wrong decision, because when Rich Blues was on the intermediate tyres, he was the fastest. Absolutely. He was flying. And if it had carried on raining a little bit, I mean, if that had stayed wetter, he'd have had a damn good chance of winning a race. Like, legit winning a race. I mean, he'd have had to contend with Critical, who was also on the Inters, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it could have gone definitely one way or another. But a fascinating race anyway. Okay, because there's been a report placed, which we haven't mentioned, there has been a report placed for that incident on the last lap where I think we saw Hay and Critical with a little bit of coming together.
Yeah. That'll go getting a little help from his friend.
Yeah. So because of that, we haven't got the confirmed race result and the standings ready for us to go through. Because although the stewards have had a chat about it, they're having another chat about it after we've done commentary. So we'll get to the race result and the confirmed standings in a little while. But Ray, I was just going to ask, what is the next track?
Suzuka.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, and do you remember how turn 1 went?
yeah. Don't brake on the racing line in the wet for turn 1. And when someone tells you don't do it, don't do it. Because I tried it and it didn't go well. And I said, oh, don't brake on the racing line. And then like 10 seconds later, Steve F1 goes, oh shit. Yeah, don't brake on the racing line. But yeah, Suzuka's a tough one though, right? Because we've done a few laps around it, and there's some corners where there is grip on the racing line, and there's others where there isn't. But then you've got that whole first sector where if you're on the racing line, it's slippery. If you're crossing the racing line, you've got to cross it many times, and it'll be slippery every time you do it. God knows how we're going to navigate that circuit, but we'll find out, I guess. With a boat, maybe.
Yeah, and you know, a little help from my friends is a hit by wet.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, you see, I only know that from the ancient TV programme. What was it called? There was a young guy and a young girl. I know that doesn't narrow it down much.
It was a film.
No,
Girl.
No, it was a TV series. And the theme song for the TV series was "I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get by with a little help from my friends." Yeah. I'm going to have to Google that and find out. But yeah, okay, so Suzuka drivers are definitely going to have to watch out for the damp patches. But yeah, also, imagine what that's going to be like when it starts, if it starts to dry up.
Well, Suzuka, yeah. The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years, yes, that's it. The Wonder Years, yeah. For a moment, my brain went, Wonder Years, what's that got to do with Japan?
You said go to Google it, so I Googled it.
Oh, well, but...
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be slidey, and then how much a dry line is it going to be to switch? Are you going to switch? Like we've seen a few people go from wets to slicks or racing hard. Sorry. How much of a dry line is there going to be at Suzuka, and how quickly is it going to dry?
Yeah, that's a very
Yep.
good question. Well, there's only been one way to find out, and that is to go and do a race there. But before we do, I have managed to get myself a new girlfriend. And no, I didn't have to blow her up, or no, I didn't have to fix a puncture. But I was laying in bed with her last night, and she said, she whispered in my ear, "Make me scream with one finger." I went, "Okay," poked her in the eye. But it could have been worse though, because the night before, I was getting into bed.
How?
What?
Go on.
I was getting into bed, and she said, "You're drunk." I said, "How do you know that?" It's because you live next door.
You know how me and Rick are quite friendly with each other.
Oh God, go on.
You know, I call my penis Richard because it's thick bit longer. But I should have just called it Justin.
Shocking. This must be what it's like when I tell bad jokes. Dear. Right, and on
Have you ever heard of reversed exorcism?
I have. I heard this the other day.
Alright, I'll not carry on then.
I have to remember it now. I can't remember it. It's something to do with the devil, a priest, and a child. That's it. It's the devil trying to get the priest out of a child.
Yeah.
Right, on that bombshell, I think it's time to bring this one to an end for the moment, and we'll check out the confirmation with captain standings. Ray, thank you very much for joining us on commentary.
Well, thank you for having us. Sorry, I had Facebook up, and one of my our family is dressed up as Easter Bunny, got a knife, and nobody knows about it, and she's went into the daughter's room when she's with the boyfriend and scared the shit out of him.
Oh no. For a minute, I thought you was going to say that she'd stabbed someone, but okay.
Like one of these scare prank things.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us, and thank you to the admins and the drivers as well.
Absolutely. Right, let's have a look at those standings. So, Steve F1 with the victory, maximum 20 points for him. Demon R, second place at 17 points. SRI in third with 15. Jason finished in fourth place, takes 13 points, with Nelly in fifth on 12. SGP finished in sixth place, takes 11 points, while Rich Blues, seventh place in 10 points. Twilight, eighth place, 9 points, and then we've got Critical in ninth place on 8 points. Hay in 10th place with 7 points, although not points, although he does have a -2 point penalty, so it will be 5 points for Hay. And with that, I haven't got all the details at the moment because at the point I'm recording this, it's before the stewarding has been written up, so I can only give a couple of basic bits of information. On the final lap, Critical was nudged deep at the little chicane and lost quite a few places. Unfortunately, Hay wasn't in a position to be able to give Critical the position back. That's one of the things we do in the DGT League. If you do that, then you can avoid a penalty, so you penalise yourself. But unfortunately, Hay was never in a position to be able to do that, which means that a penalty would still be applied. However, it would normally be a 3-point penalty, but because of Hayes' actions following the incident, which was making sure that he did stay behind, and from what we can gather, finished the race in the pits to make sure he finished behind everybody as well, because Critical did have a penalty, but it wasn't from the contact with Hay. So yeah, unfortunate for Hay in that he wasn't able to give the position back. It was one of those situations where he's made a mistake, he's done the right thing, but unfortunately, because he wasn't in that position to give the place back, a penalty does still apply. That has been the precedent set previously. I can also mention as well that I think at the time Hay had mentioned that he'd been bump drafted by SGP. The reason that Hay's got the penalty is because, yes, there was a bit of bump draft, but it was way before the braking zone in the corner. But Hay braked way too late. To be able to stop. At the point he braked, he was never going to be able to make the corner. There's a barrier over the road, which is kind of last point of braking. He was way beyond that when he hit the brakes, unfortunately. So it might seem a little harsh because he has self-penalised himself, but one of the main factors of that DGT rule is that you penalise yourself and give the position back to the driver that you were affected. But if you're in a situation where you cannot do that, i.e. you hit them off and you're still behind them, then technically you haven't achieved that objective. Anyway, let's take a look at the confirmed standings then. Demon R then leading the way on his own now, 52 points, 2 ahead of SRI. In third place is SGP. On 45 points, Steve F1 now 2 points behind him. Nelly in 5th place, so Steve F1 has jumped Nelly, so yeah, Nelly in 5th on 38 points, got a little bit of a gap to Jason in 6th on 32 points, and again a little bit of a gap to Twilight in 7th, who's only 1 point ahead of Rich Blues in 8th place. 9th place is Hay on 21 points, with Formula Gary and Critical both tied in 10th place on 15 points now. Massively unfortunate for Gary being there for the race, but then having the update to do and it taking too long to complete. So yeah, I really feel for Gary. Jimmy 12th place, 10 points, with Art Pal 13th on 9 points, and Bob yet to score. Conrad has also, on 2 occasions, attempted to join us for a race. Unfortunately for Conrad, he's also been caught out by the updates. So I think it was race 1 he was going to join, but when he came online, there was an update to do and it couldn't get done in time. And again, for this race, he was able to try and join, but again, there was an update to do and he wasn't able to get it completed in time. So I feel massively for Conrad. So, although we do have 2 seats showing as available, technically one of them is Connor's whenever he wants it, or is able to race, as long as he's done the updates. Having said that, there is 1 seat available, so if you've been watching this and you're interested in getting involved, then have a look at the Facebook page, Dynamic GT League, and drop us a message and we will try and get you integrated into the practice sessions. The practice sessions currently take place on Thursday from 7 o'clock. So yeah, feel free to come and get involved. You're more than welcome to on the Thursday practices. Okay, right, that's all for this week. The championship standings as we see it is what will form the grid for the next race, obviously depending on who is able to attend and who isn't. Right, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, smash that notifications bell, and yeah, have a good one, everybody. We'll see you all again soon.